Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Propaganda with Mick and Jacob. You know what our brave activists at the Grammys forgot to stand up for? Rape, murder, satanic rituals. They forgot to mention that when they went up there and did the brave thing and spoke out against the evil ICE agents that are terrorizing our country. They forgot to mention some other pretty bad things going around, which is funny. I don't know why you wouldn't speak out against something like that. I mean, that's pretty serious too, right?
Seems like it hits pretty close to home too for a lot of them.
Right.
And
a lot of people
they didn't talk about it.
In their industry that they probably trusted. But no. That gets brushed under the rug for some reason.
Well, over the weekend, we got the release of the Epstein files. And there's kind of some mixed reactions, some mixed results. A lot of people are like, this is exactly what we said it was. This is what it proves. This and that. And everyone else is like, well, this doesn't prove that much. Like, they're still lying to us. We're still not getting the full story. We don't think we'll ever get the full story. Just because there's some emails and some hints and some messages, that doesn't prove like the concrete evidence I think a lot of people were looking for. Like, in my mind, I think it's a lot for most of it, but I think for some people, it's not done until it's done. And it's not done until people are behind bars. And I agree with that, but it's like, we're never going to get that. I don't think we'll ever see anyone in these messages. I mean, all the recipients, their names are blacked out. Like, we don't even see who half these people are.
That's the problem, is that I don't think people are mad that, or I think the only way people will ever be happy is if we get justice. And like you said, there won't ever be justice.
Right. But until then, it'll just be conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
What if? Why not this? So for those of you that don't know, I'd look into the Epstein files if I were you. Some emails get leaked, some recipients, some people who Epstein sent stuff to, some pictures, videos. Everything about it is like worse than you think, and also somehow not enough. Like, it's worse than you think and still doesn't show the full story.
Yeah.
The way I feel like it is. Like, everything you see feels off, it feels demonic, it feels extremely immoral and illegal, but it also feels like we're being shown half the image, half the email.
Yeah.
The camera's being turned, the email's being cut, screenshot and cut. You know, it's like everything's still blacked out. Like, why don't we know who these people are? Why don't we know who sent emails to Epstein? Like, we have some names, but it's not really.
A lot of it is redacted.
Right.
A lot of it.
And it's like, the FBI, if this is an ongoing investigation, which they should be open about, then I understand them blocking out some of these names. But it's like, if some of these people, they're not at all involved with the investigation today, or they're dead, or who knows, like, or it doesn't involve them that much, why are their names being blocked out, you know? And even then, as an American, as the public, we have a right to know some things that are going on. We have a right to know what's happening with our government, what's happening with the elites and the rulers and the rich class that run our country. Like, I think we have a right to that. And the whole Epstein thing shows, like, well, it shows all these people in power are just as bad as you thought, if not worse. And it also shows that, like, we are never going to get the full truth. There's never going to be a transparent administration. There's never going to be a transparent government agency. I mean, and sorry, I don't want to keep rambling on, but everyone is like, it's crazy. Everyone, as you've seen, is pointing out Trump's name, Trump's this, Trump that, which, if that stuff in there is true about him, that's terrible. That's awful. He should go to jail, 100%.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is that everyone's focusing on him and no one's focusing on anyone else. What's crazy to me is everyone's saying, oh, it took Trump so long to release them, whatever. And we forget that Biden had 4 full years to do it. We forget that Epstein killed himself in 2019. And Trump was president then too. And it's like, so this went through Trump's last year of presidency, Biden's 4 full years of presidency, and the first year of Trump's presidency. Like, why was there no bipartisan agreement to get this out? Why was there no, we're going to release these and we're going to force it out there? You know, it happened this year, sure. But that's because Trump ran on it and then kind of went back on it. And then we have enough people standing up for it that they get it out. But even then, we're not getting the full story. I've heard that the Epstein files are still like, we're only getting half of them. It's like there's still a whole other half of these emails. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they're telling us. And then you have to think about, so he killed himself in 2019. His first arrest was in like 2006. So it's like, what do you think they've been doing? You think everything's the exact same. You think nothing's been deleted. You think nothing's been altered. You think nothing's been edited. And that's coming from someone who voted for Trump, right? But like, I think the liberals would be the first ones to point out, like, well, hey, if Trump has had time to change stuff, then we should know what the full story is. So I don't know why the left isn't being like, hey, why didn't Trump release this more? Why did we not get the full picture? Like, they should be mad at him.
Also, this goes back further than 2019 when he was arrested and when he killed himself. There were still presidents around in 1990. There were still presidents around in 2006.
Right.
And
well, the argument
around,
is right. We didn't know anything. We didn't know anything until 2006.
That's true. I don't think the leader of our country, one of the most powerful leaders in the world, you could argue, just didn't know about it until all of a sudden Epstein gets arrested, and it's weird and like that. Stop.
And like, if you look at the files, it involves like Clintons, Bushes, Trump, rich people, foreign leaders,
princes.
Yes, like legitimate royalty of foreign countries. It involves the CIA, it involves Mossad, it involves supposedly MI6. So, and it involves foreign intelligence. So it's like everyone's kind of in on it, supposedly. But why are we not being told the full story?
And why are we just focusing on one name? I'm sorry. I hate to sound like I'm not defending Trump in any way. Obviously the guy was part of it somehow, but also so was his entire circle, and so was the entire class that he's part of. Everyone, when they get online to talk about Epstein, it goes hand in hand. Now it's about Trump too. Mm-hmm. And I think we're focusing on Trump way too much so that we're not focusing enough on the victims and what actually went down and what actually happened. And that is why we are never going to get justice, because we're not angry for the right reason. We're angry because Trump is in them. Oh, okay. Oh, and like we're angry because Trump was in them. We should be angry that everyone else was too, and we should be angry at what happened. It feels like the extent of people's anger, at least online, is just that our current sitting president is in them. A lot of a lot of previous presidents were in them too. Yep. They forget that they also voted for Hillary. Hillary is in them, and she's a rough one. I don't think that she's a good person by any means.
Right.
And every single liberal, not even liberal, just everyone, they're like, oh, yeah, I can't believe we voted for Trump. Ah, he's such a bad guy. And the alternative is the good guy. The alternative was better.
Yeah.
I don't think that either. I think we've all voted for bad people. I think everyone up there is bad.
I agree.
You know, it's frustrating to see us focus on one man as if this man was worse than everybody in it. And I don't think that's the case.
What's crazy to me is, like, again, I do believe there's some validity to a lot of the files as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm also not going to pretend they're all 100% legit, 100% proof behind everything. Nothing's been messed with. What's crazy to me is that the FBI, right, the DOJ, they release these files. And we're just supposed to believe that everything they sent out is real. Like, I'm confused. Like, I don't know why, like, and unless there's some like software or like, I don't know,
we
like
can prove it's
authentication.
Legit.
Yeah, right. Like, how do we know? Like, we are talking about since 2006. We're talking about since 2019. This guy's been dead. Like, they've had 7 years. Who knows what they have changed in the files? I don't get, like, you don't think they've blocked out certain names? You don't think that they've messed with certain emails or certain videos and pictures that have been put out? Now with AI too, who knows? But it's like, we're just supposed to believe that that's the exact email Jeffrey Epstein sent, and they still blocked out certain names but left other names out. And that's what my point earlier was if I was a liberal, I would still be upset, because I would be like, who knows if Trump's DOJ is purposely having whatever he's been involved with scrubbed or made look like more of an accident, right, or a lesser impact. Like, who knows? Biden had him for 4 years and we didn't see anything about Biden. Who knows what he did? Like, we have no clue. But it's like, the sides are either, no, it's all true and we need to take everything as the word, or it's like, I don't believe any of it. And it's like, well, obviously we have them for a reason. And obviously, I don't think we can trust all of them or every word of it. And I think you have to take it with a grain of salt. So it's like, I feel like those are the two sides with like discussing the actual like legitimacy of the files. But it's crazy to me, like,
it's hard to trust it too, because they've lied for how many years, and then they release them, and we're just supposed to sit back and say, "Oh, yep, thanks, cool."
And then,
all right,
like,
Must be the real thing.
Again, Trump ran on releasing the files. That was a big part of his campaign. I'm going to release the Epstein files. You're going to know what happened on that island. I was there. I know. So he runs on campaigning and campaigns on releasing the files, and then gets into office and releases these fake notebook looking files to a select couple influencers that we never heard anything about them, and we don't know why they released them, and we never heard the influencers take on them or anything. And it's that's what they released. And then everyone's like, hey, where are the actual files? What's going on? And then he's like, oh, there are no files. What do you mean? You got into office and it turns out there was nothing on Jeffrey Epstein. There's no criminal investigation into him. There's no evidence, video, pictures, emails, nothing. No, there's no files. And it's okay, so then Congress forced him to, because the left and the right kind of joined up together to make that happen. And now, sure enough, there's files. But it's what did we get? What did we not get? What has changed? What are we being shown on purpose? And I think another thing we should talk about too, about the files, is these people are terrible. These people are worse, I think, than you and I can imagine, and worse than what we're being shown.
This is the tip of the iceberg. This isn't even close to what they do.
Yeah, the tip of the iceberg.
In the depths, yeah.
And it's I don't know. You should give me your take on this, because I want to know. But I feel in what's happening on the island, what Epstein was, who he worked for, what he did, there's also two separate camps there. And I feel he is either a satanic, demonic, worshiping, rich dude with perverted desires and ideals, and he's been possessed and he's just a freak and a rich, terrible monster. It's that. Or it's this entire thing was run for a foreign intelligence agency to get blackmail, to control. I think ultimately to control politicians and elites and world rulers, and where it seems like those are the two camps. And what my take would be, and I want to hear yours as well, but what my take would be is it's probably both, and I don't think we should believe one side or the other. He is probably, if we're being honest, he is probably possessed or under some demonic influence.
I don't think
has freaky.
I don't think you can do this kind of thing without having some kind of demonic influence.
Yeah.
Not to get all weird and spiritual. But
and he has some kind of freaky desires and ideals of what his perverted pleasures are,
No human could fake that even for $1 billion.
Correct. And I would say also there's a good amount of evidence he might have been working for an intelligence agency, whether foreign or domestic. There's a lot of evidence that points to foreign. So with either Israel or XMI6 or maybe the CIA still, but I don't think they're exclusive. I think it could be some of both. And it could be the agencies and the intel operating using his desires and his friends and his influences to further gather information in details and blackmail. And then it also could be him, who's already a perverted person, just taking some money and some cushion on top of it, and using what he already does for some extra pats on the back, who knows?
Right.
But that's where I would err on where's the fine line? Where's the middle ground? What was actually happening? I don't think we'll know what's actually happening. I really don't think they'll tell us.
We'll never know.
He made some jokes about being a part of Mossad and the Israel lobby, and he's talking about calling all his buddies and all the rich people, they're the stupid goyim, control the masses, bad goy, all these things, which
gosh,
look into that for yourself. But so he's talking like that, but also that's what the U.S. has shown us. That's what our DOJ has shown us. Who knows what wasn't shown and what, and that's the whole point about speculating.
Right.
And it's kind of we're running in circles and just wasting our time almost, but it's that's the part that we don't know is the part that we don't know.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, like you said, we don't even know the half of it.
Right.
There was this one email, it was redacted. The person's name was redacted, I believe, but they were asking about killing someone, doing something to someone that had wronged them, blah, 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 something bad and illegal. And Epstein responded with not for email. That was his email, not for email. So that's...
Right. What else has been communicated?
That's a whole other conversation that wasn't even on the emails.
Yeah.
And we have no idea. We don't even know. Even certain things, for as much as they talked about and sent and communicated with on email, there's even worse that they didn't want on email. We cannot even fathom what was actually said, done. it's honestly it's scary to read because you're like, oh
Right.
my gosh, like
Well,
this is out of a movie. This is something like an author would write about
Yeah.
happening, and this is like actually happening.
And then think about, I mean, if he killed himself or didn't kill himself, I don't think he knew that was going to happen. But he did know the arrest was coming. He did know he was under criminal prosecution. He did know it wasn't looking good. You don't think he took time to delete things and cover himself and
That's true. Too.
throw some things under the rug and get some other people involved to get all his stuff aired out?
Right.
You know, you don't think that was happening. You don't think pretend he is with foreign agencies, which he might be. Like, you don't think they weren't working overtime to get this stuff under the rug and get it out of sight and make sure the FBI doesn't get over it?
Right.
And if they do, maybe who knows, they offered him or took a deal or who knows what happened. Like, he obviously knew it was coming. You don't think he just left all of his stuff out and like, here's all my emails, here's all my files.
Oh, you got me.
At it. Yeah.
All right.
Guilty. Like,
Here's my computer.
right. So it's like, to just assume that, it's also extremely naive as well.
Why did they use email?
I don't know. I wonder that too. Is that safer than text? Is that like,
I don't know. Yeah.
maybe because it's around the world, better encrypted, more so than text message? I don't know.
Why do they communicate at all over email?
Right.
That's what I'm so confused by too. I know like one side says they're on top. They don't think anything is going to happen. Like,
Right.
and there's some truth to it. I mean, these were released and what has happened, you know, really nothing. I mean, Epstein took the fall and that was it.
Yeah.
Honestly. So there's like that side of it. Nothing's really going to happen. So like, why wouldn't you just email, text, you know, take all these photos and all these videos for the memories?
Well, then it's like, do you not think that they didn't delete some?
No, I do.
And if they did delete some, I'm sure the FBI still has ways of getting it. So it's like,
But it's like, why would they? Like, I
put
understand
it
they
on
think
in the first
nothing will
place?
happen, but
Yeah.
why even?
yeah.
Why even like risk it? Why even?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like, I don't think every single power in the world came together and said, "All right, Epstein, you're our guy.
No.
Go in there and do your thing." Like, there's still the chance of it being hacked by another country or hacked by this intelligence,
Right.
and you know, like, it just seems a little odd that they would be so willy-nilly about it, just
Yeah,
emailing
open.
as if it's right, just another work day.
Right.
And
Scheduling a Zoom
sending like
meeting or something.
videos and photos and
Yeah.
I
Like
don't
saying
know.
things that are not like necessarily provable, but like when you say those things, like they can only mean a certain amount of things.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
Like, it's crazy. The thing I was gonna say before was, do you remember like 2016, that era?
Yeah.
The Pizzagate thing?
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate.
I can't.
Okay,
It's
that's
real.
like that's what shows me the most proof of like the Epstein files. Like 2016, there was a whole bunch of celebrities going around. They're always saying weird things about pizza. They're always inviting each other to like pizza parties.
Pizza party, specifically
and
always pizza.
talking about pizza for some reason. And they were doing it on late night shows, on the Ellen show, on like interviews and one-on-one talks and podcasts. Like, it was everywhere for some reason. And I think people were like picking up on it and like
They're like,
noticing,
"What
if you were an
the-"
early noticer, it was always sus. It was always weird. And then we see in these emails, which pretend they're true, let's go with that for now. If they're true, we see in these emails that like, oh, they're talking about ordering pizza. They're talking about what type of pizza they want. They're talking about
That's so
grape juice and
crazy.
pizza. And then like people are going through the emails decoding like what these things could possibly mean. And then what, I forget if it was like I think they said Asian taco, right? They were like, oh, let's skip the Asian taco next time. We're going to go back for the pizza and grape juice. And it's like, so they're like assuming,
What?
sorry. So they're like assigning like code names supposedly, or these people who just really love pizza, right? Let's go with that. And they're talking about like the age of pizza, but it's like, okay, like it's just so unassuming and so strange, but yet it's like that was 2016 and here we are in 2026, 10 years later, and we're seeing some of the files and being like, oh, like maybe that is something. Maybe people should have been looked into that, looked into that more, you know? Maybe there's actually like some legitimacy behind it. And if you know anything about like the Pizzagate scandal and like the situation and stuff, it's like,
And everyone was called crazy too.
right. But like these Epstein files, if anything, they kind of show that like, hey, this might have some truth behind it.
Yeah. I miss when everything was a conspiracy.
Right.
Now it's just, yep, probably is true.
Right. It's crazy. So you take that stuff and it's like, that's a lot harder to argue with like the legitimacy of things, I feel. But then it's like, well, you have some unsubstantiated email that's blocked out who it was from, who it was to, when it was from, with some random words on there. Like, how do you verify that? How do we not know someone didn't mess with that or alter it or edit it? Like, so there's plenty of things like that too. But then there's also what looks like to be real verifiable video proof of Epstein like running around his kitchen counter with like chasing girls around. Like,
Yeah.
how do you fake that? But then again, we live in the world of AI, so what's
Yeah.
real? Anyways,
Yeah. That's the hard part
It's
too.
crazy.
We don't know what to believe. The government that is releasing it lied to us for years about it, and now they're just handing it over. Like, how are we? It's naive to think that one, this is all of it, and then two, that it's
Yeah.
all true,
Right.
and it hasn't, and it's not just half the truth.
Right.
And then it's also hard too because we can't believe each other either. We can't believe, okay, maybe is this video that I'm seeing on TikTok edited? Is it AI? Is it true? Like, what was the thing that they disproved? It was already the bail thing.
So the first thing that went out that day was that Jeffrey Epstein's bank account was like nicknamed Baal, the Old Testament god that people would make sacrifices to in like worship, in like that was their deity. You know, it was a demonic entity, Baal, and it's like, so the files went out saying that Epstein's bank account was named Baal and that's what he was transferring money to and whatever. It comes out actually that no, when they got the files, the Baal thing was actually bank name, like name of the bank. Next to it was the name of the bank, right? But bank name. And when they ran it through a scanner, it scanned it incorrectly, smudges the words, and makes the N and K look more like an A and an L. And that's how people got bail. But then it's like, well, how do we know that's true?
Well, how do we even know that's like,
but the point being is like, you see something that if you probably looked at it for longer, you would know that it says, hey, it's bank name blank, you know, not bail name blank. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, but instantly our first assumption, because we've been lied to, because we are called crazy now.
Yeah.
The first assumption of a lot of people is like, see, it says bail, like demonic, you know, which again, forget if it says bail or not. This man was obviously influenced by or altered by or under the possession of something, because because we don't know actually, because we don't know what's happening on the island. Apparently everything was fine on the island, but from what we know, from what we think we know, no, bad things were going down on that island. And I think what we've seen from it is that, especially as Christians too, but even non-Christians, like you have to start waking up at some point. And it's like, there's obviously something evil in control. There's obviously something that has power on earth to accomplish what he wants to accomplish and to do what he wants to do. And he uses people and groups and entities and powers to accomplish his will. And I think to cause confusion and chaos.
Yeah.
And
I know you can't really be an atheist anymore. You can't deny that there isn't a spiritual aspect to
when you
universe.
see like this much evil, you have to be like, hey, there's obviously a good and a bad.
Yeah.
Someone's obviously assigning what's good and what's bad, and someone's obviously carrying out what's good and what's bad. And it's like more evident than ever, I want to say, you know. But it's a good reminder to look into things for yourself. I wouldn't trust the government. I wouldn't trust the government, but you got to look into things for yourself.
Use discernment, I guess.
You got to use discernment.
Yeah. So what next? What now? I mean, it's naive to think that there isn't another island somewhere. It's naive to think that this isn't currently going on. It's stupid to think that once he was killed, that it just stopped and it just ended. They stopped getting their pizza parties.
He wasn't killed, by the way. He committed suicide.
Pardon me. When he committed suicide.
Right.
In his jail cell.
Thank you.
It's stupid to think that this did not continue on. So it is, you almost get a little hopeless because you're like, what now? You know, nothing, these were released and no arrests have been made.
Well, there's no one guilty on there because can't prove anything.
But is there an active investigation going on?
I don't know.
They claim there is, but is there? Like, it's hard because, what next? What now? You know, now I have to get up in the morning and go to work and pay my taxes and just
I've seen a lot of people saying that too. Yeah.
That this isn't happening.
You just have to move on with your next day.
Right.
Yeah.
You just got to move on. That's crazy. That's so crazy. But I mean, I think everyone is pretty aware that it's still currently happening, still going on, even with these Epstein files released. I mean, it's not stopping them. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, shoot, you guys got us. All right, we're going to turn a new leaf.
Yeah.
We promise we won't do any more satanic things. Like, come on, you know?
Yeah. But I think it's important to stay grounded. Try to see through a lot of the, fake media, propaganda, lies that they're selling you.
Yeah. And like, don't let it turn into this like right versus left thing either. And that's like the whole point with Trump. I don't know why, but everyone's turning to MAGA and to the Republicans and being like, look who you elected. This is crazy. This is madness. Again, like I said earlier, you guys haven't voted for good people either. Please.
Why didn't Joe Biden release the files is a good question too. So
don't turn it into this like us versus them thing, or sorry, like a right versus left thing where it's like hating on Trump supporters, hating on Trump, hate Trump because he did bad things, but also hate every bad thing that everyone else did. If that makes sense.
It's an important reminder to stay grounded, fight for what you believe in. And it sounds cliche and overused, but it honestly is like Christians, like this is a spiritual war going on, and pretend everything that happened on that island was made up. There's still a spiritual war going on. Whether or not we ever find out the truth, we still know it exists. So I think we should encourage each other. I don't think we should blackpill. Like, don't give up. Like, it's not hopeless. It seems that way. Why wake up and pay taxes, right?
Yeah.
Why sign up for whatever, but like, don't give up hope. And I guess there's only so much you can control. I don't know.
You can't even
No, I can't put it into words, but that's all we have for you this week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Propaganda. As always, we really appreciate it. And if you could give us a follow on our socials, we are on Instagram at PropagandaMJ. We are on YouTube at PropagandaMJ. We are on TikTok at Mick and Jacob. And then we're on X as well at PropagandaMJ, I do believe. And leave a positive review of the podcast. It always helps get it out. And we will see you next Tuesday.